Welcome to this short video here for CS 202 section 1011. I'm going to show you how to use a virtual environment on your Windows computer. This is an alternative to running your programs on Sally every time, and an alternative to using Visual Studio, which I also uploaded a video on before this one. So Sally and Bobby are both UNLV servers, and they run Linux environments. And so you have to know how to use Linux, at least to some extent, since you're in CS202. So you probably know how to use the ls function, the clear command, the make directory command, things like that. So this is all kind of a Linux operating system here. So we're going to install our own one of these on our Windows computer. So the first thing you need to do is type in VirtualBox in your Google. Come to the first link here, oraclevirtualbox.org, and go ahead and download this. Go ahead and install it. I already have it installed on my computer. And then the next thing you need to do is you need the actual operating system to run on the VirtualBox. So go ahead and type in Ubuntu, which is U-B-U-N-T-U, ISO for Windows. And then go ahead and click on this first link here. You'll notice that it's at ubuntu.com. That's totally okay. That's what we want. And then go ahead and click download on the LTS version, whichever one this is. Once you download it, locate that file. I have it here. Here it is. Now, depending on your computer, I think you most likely have a 64-bit computer, but you may have a 32-bit computer. I believe that the Ubuntu downloaded from here is a 64-bit version, or it may automatically determine from your computer. I'm not quite sure, but doesn't matter because we're going to work with it anyway. So whenever you're ready, open up your VirtualBox program, and you'll be presented kind of here with this screen, this little screen with our little penguin on it. And you're not going to have anything over here. I have one thing already. So what you're going to type is click on this new here and give your little virtual computer a name. I'm going to call this test_VM. And I'm going to select where I want it to be stored. I want it to store on my E drive, so I'm going to change that. And then next, what environment or what operating system is going to be installed on this virtual machine? Well, it's a Linux environment, so go ahead and select Linux. And what we want is Ubuntu 64-bit. So I'm going to hit next. Now it's going to ask you what memory size you want. Now it's best to use 4 gigabytes if you can. I know this might be limited, and if you have a small computer, this might not be the best option for you. But go ahead and put in however much memory you're willing to give. 4 gigabytes would be the best. Then it's going to ask you to create a virtual hard disk. You're going to want to do that, so go ahead and hit create. I already have a virtual hard disk created, so I'm not going to create a new one, and it's going to take a moment. So I'm just going to use this existing one here, but go ahead and create virtual hard disk. When you hit create, it's going to ask you which one of these that you want. Go ahead and just use the VirtualBox disk image. And then it's going to ask you to do dynamic size or fixed size. You should know about these things. Dynamic means it will take memory as needed. And fixed size, it's going to allocate it all at once. The fixed size will be faster, but the dynamic size will be easier to set up. So let's go ahead and use the dynamically allocated. I'm only going to use 1 gigabyte because I don't want to wait too much. Let's hit create. I know I said I wouldn't create one, but I did anyway. And now here we are, and we're ready to use this test VM. The first thing we need to do is actually go to the settings, and then we should probably go to storage. Because what we need to do now is we need to actually select which ISO we're going to use for this virtual machine. So in order to do that, you're going to have to give me a moment to find it. Definitely should be over here. I think it's actually right here. So yeah, do go to your storage and try clicking on one of these little add buttons here. Yep, there we go. So go ahead and click on probably the first one. This one's going to ask for a hard disk. You don't want to do that. Go ahead and click on the add optical drive. And then you're going to have to find your ISO file. If you click add here, it will pop open your Windows search, and so you can go locate that file. In this case, it's the Ubuntu ISO file that you downloaded. Go ahead and open it. Go ahead and choose it. So there it is. And you say OK. So now it should be ready to go. I'm just going to come over here and make sure that I have this already set up. It does not look like I have it set up here. So I'm going to select this. And when you're ready, you can hit start. Now you may have to enable virtualization to speed this up. And in order to do that, you're going to have to go into your like computer BIOS, which would require your computer to restart. This is not a very in-depth tutorial on how to do this, and I'm not going to explain how to do that. You can look it up yourself, but I can kind of just explain it in English. In order to enable the virtualization for one of these virtual machines, you'll just have to restart your computer, and like right when it's in the opening phase, you type, I think, F12, and it will open your system BIOS. So then in there, you'll have to find the virtualization option and enable it. And then once you do that, you can come over to your VirtualBox here. And when you go into settings, you can then find, probably in system, that's a pretty sound, a selection that says to enable virtualization. So I'm just going to run through here real quick. And I'm not seeing it, so I'm not sure if they've changed this at all or if it automatically detected the virtualization. But I will get back to you on that. It doesn't look like that's even an option. So here you are. It's going to ask you to install this stuff. So go ahead and install it on your computer. This is just like another computer. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll do a normal installation. And you'll just have to give it a minute. But what this is a window that's running on your Windows. So you're kind of running a computer within a computer. So while we're waiting for this, I'm just going to double check that virtualization thing to make sure I didn't mess anything up. It looks like I had already installed this. So I'll just do this option here. Sure, I'm okay with it. It's going to ask you what time you're in. Los Angeles is good enough. pull this over here. Ah, I see here, I see. So back to that virtualization thing that I was mentioning. In this option, if you've enabled the virtualization on your BIOS, just click on the VM, go to Settings, go to System, Acceleration, and then you can see here it says Enable Hardware Virtualization. You'll click on that, and if you've enabled it on your computer, you'll be able to check mark that box. So then it asks you for a few things. And then we'll just kind of wait for it to finish up here, and I'll show you how we can open up a terminal and how we can install G++ here. Obviously, this method is a little bit longer, and I would almost prefer to use Visual Studio in this case. But virtual environments are very good for lots of other reasons, and in fact are probably preferred for C++. You could probably skip ahead here in the video. I'm not going to cut it because I'm lazy. All right, folks. Looks like we're finally back. That took forever. I hope that you skipped through that. Let's go ahead and hit restart now. This is just the VirtualBox, so it's not going to actually restart your computer. It's just going to do it right here in the little program. We'll give it one moment here to start up. And here we are. So this is the account that I created. I did this kind of for fun, so let's see if I can remember the password that I made. Okay, looks like I remembered it. So once it starts up, then the next thing you have to do is install G++. So I'm going to skip this thing. Kind of not in the mood to go through this stuff, because I kind of just want to show you exactly how this works. So this is a Linux environment. So if you want to start coding, go ahead and type in terminal. And this is exactly like the terminal on Sally. So the first thing you should type is probably sudo apt-get update. Type in your password. Allow it to update, if any. And then the next thing you have to do is install G++. So I usually just Google this kind of thing. But you can see here that this person tells you exactly how to install G++ through the terminal. Now this VirtualBox is connected to the internet, so you can open up Firefox and email files to yourself. You can also go to Web Campus and download files directly here. So once you do that, I'm going to type sudo, let's try this, sudo apt-get install G++. I probably messed that up. Does not look like it. Go ahead and type Y. It's going to install all of this stuff. Let's go ahead and type a C++ program while we're waiting. I'm going to come in here and type text editor. And let's just do include IOStream here. Using namespace, std, int main, cout, smiley face, turn 0. Okay, end. So we can save this. Let's go ahead and save it just on the desktop for fun. And this is going to be test.cpp. I'm searching there. I shouldn't have done that. I should have saved it there. And look, it notices, it remembers, or it sees that this is a CPP file. So all the things changed color. That's nice. So we can minimize this. This is going to take a moment to install. But once it does, I should be able to compile this program by navigating to this folder and then compiling and running the program. So here we are. It finished this. So I'm going to type ls to see where we are. And notice I saved it on my desktop, so I'm going to have to say cd desktop. And then once you do that, type ls, and it does not look like it's there. Looks like I saved it in my home folder. In fact, so that was a mistake by my fault. Yeah, there it is. I'm goofy. So we'll just cd back to this environment. Looks like it's there. I'll type g++ test.cpp. Looks like it worked. And then you can see that there's a ./a.out there. So we'll run it. Now let's see if g++-std equals c++11 works as well. Test.cpp. Looks like it does. I can ./a.out, and there you have it. So that's how you do virtual environment coding. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on Monday.